Hello to everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I would like to give you an update about the things I'm changing on my RC model in order to be ready in the best possible way for the second part of this RC season. Before of that, just a reminder as usual to leave a like and subscribe in order to support my channel. Thank you. As you saw from my last video, in my last RC race I won 2 stages. And let's say I was pretty competitive. That's thanks to some changes that I made on the setup. Harder differential oil on the rear, softer, lighter on the front, and also I changed the Ackerman angle, and that improved a lot the rotation of the model through the corners. And also I would like to admit that I made a mistake at the beginning of this season because what I did, where it is here, was to change the servo, this Savox, to a low profile SRT servo. In general, what I did together with my friends, because this is a customized model that together we are building and modifying, we shortened the chassis, making, let's say, not a shorter wheelbase, but the components of the car are closer to each other, making, let's say, a better weight distribution. And meanwhile, what I did was to change, as you remember, the body to a lighter one of around 20-25 grams, and also I changed the servo to a lighter one. All these things theoretically will have to increase the speed of rotation of the model through the corners, and I started to feel, yes, the model was much more drivable, but not so much fast in the corners. And I just, as you saw, I worked on the suspension differentials and so on. But I did a mistake here. If you take a look at the Savox servo, here we have the gear that, let's say, allow us to steer. But in the SRT servo, the same gear is placed more forward. And because of that, taking a look on how this model is built, the angle of the steering arms changed a lot. So in this way I changed also the Ackerman angles, and I obtained an internal wheel that was not steering anymore so much as it should. So in the last event I corrected the Ackerman, as you saw. What I did was to change this component. It's a 3D printed part that links, it's an extension that links the servo to the steering arms, and in this way I was able to obtain a model that was, let's say, rotating in a fast way. So luckily I've noticed this mistake that I made at the beginning of this season, and everything should be now in the correct way. If you want to play with the Ackerman on your RC model, try to do in a way that the internal wheel is steering more than the external one in a corner. This makes the model a bit more nervous, maybe a bit harder to drive, but you will see that it's rotating in a much more faster way. Honestly, I never liked so much to drive this X-Ray chassis, comparing it to my old Tamiya XV01, which was, let's say, okay, slower, but easier to drive. I don't know, sometimes I feel that this chassis is not so much consistent. I'm driving it since 2 years, especially in high grip conditions. I feel that it's not smooth, there's something wrong. I think that I've overlooked during these 2 years driving this chassis is the flexibility of the underplate. As you can see here, in between the motor and the front differential, the chassis, let's say, it's quite flexible, and I think that maybe this is the issue that is causing me some unpleasant feeling when I'm driving this RC model. So by myself, just as a first step, I built this, let's say, bridge, I call it like that links the front part of the chassis to the case where we find the slippery clutch, and in this way the chassis is extremely sturdy on the front. What I've noticed is that almost everyone, the top drivers, especially in Czech Republic, if I'm not mistaken, they are using a very rigid chassis, so maybe this thing that I made to go back to a rigid chassis is the correct thing to do. Still, I had not the time to test this thing that I implemented, and I will try to do it this weekend. Also, my old XV01 was a completely rigid chassis, so let's hope that this is the right thing to do, but the most important thing is right now the Ackerman angle are okay, and let's see. Still, the second part of the season is going to be full of RC rally races, and I will try my best to achieve some good results. Okay guys, I think that's all for this video update, and as usual, thank you a lot for your support, thank you for commenting my video, I really enjoy it, I really enjoy to answer you, and see you next week for a new video. Ciao!